It is very disheartening to check on newly planted Plumeria cuttings and Plumeria plants, just to discover that they have been knocked out of their pots either by nature, strong winds, animals, bats, or even by accident, the gardener himself or herself knocking it over. The initial roots of Plumeria cuttings tend to be very brittle, and the slightest movement or shift of the cutting from its planted position may break the newly developed roots. The roots get stronger as they mature over time. Newly planted Plumeria cuttings have no means of staying steady and balanced when planted either in the ground or in pots. It is therefore very important to stake Plumeria cuttings at planting time. This is usually done by inserting a plant stake right next to the cutting itself, and tying the cutting to the stake. It's best to tie the Plumeria cutting at strategic places along the cutting, just above soil level, just below the tip, and in the middle of the cutting to the stake, making sure the cutting is firmly anchored in the pot or in the ground. Some Plumeria cuttings may dehydrate during the rooting process, depending on the rooting method that is used. If dehydration occurs, causing the cutting to shrink in size and the tie-ups to loosen, then one needs to adjust the ties or apply new ones to re-establish secure and proper placement. But what can be done if the cutting is tall, and has multiple branches? In this case, it is best to start staking the Plumeria cutting at the main stem, and tie it to the plant stake. Depending on the number of branches and their individual height above soil level, staking each branch with a proper length plant stake, and tying them just below the tip of each branch to the stake secures the cutting in the pot, or in the ground. The following two pictures show one cutting of Plumeria teresa wilder, I recently planted. The main stem is tied to a stake, and each of the two top branches is secured tightly to an individual plant stake as well. This cutting is unable to move, even if I tilt the pot at an angle of 45 degrees. The same principle of staking applies when planting rooted Plumeria plants. I recommend inserting the plant stakes before covering the roots with the planting medium. By gently inserting the stakes between the roots, one avoids injuring the roots, which might occur when the plant stakes are inserted, after the roots have been covered with the potting medium. By following staking practices for Plumeria cuttings and plants, gardeners avoid unnecessary delays in enjoying their beautiful scented Plumeria flowers.